Thank you. First, I'd like to thank the Bingham family and the Nieman Foundation for this award. We're really pleased to be back. It's sort of bittersweet for me because Carol and I are not a team anymore. We're still friends, but I've left the organization, so we won't be able to do any more projects together. So, tears. This was a massive undertaking, and the truth of it is that it would not have been possible without the courage and the commitment of Miami Herald leadership. They were willing to fight for us. They were willing to expend resources for us. They were willing to give us the time to do this. And when we needed more time, they said yes, and they said yes again. They understood the importance. They understood that we had something that needed to be told to the readership, not just in Florida, but in the nation, but nationally speaking. It required a huge amount of time for us to pore over these records, but also to look at the videos, to look at the fighting. It was hard to watch it. And we knew it was important for us to also speak with the families. There's nothing, in some ways, there's nothing more powerful than a parent or a grandparent telling that story and saying, I sent my kid, who was troubled, to be rehabilitated, and for that kid to be abused, or in the worst cases, killed. Andre Sheffield was 14 years old, and he was at one of the centers, and he had been raised by his grandparents, his grandmother in particular, and he wrote her a letter, and he told her, I don't want you to worry about me. Worry about yourself. She was elderly. And he was so excited because he thought, if I can just do right and be better, I'm going to get a puppy when I get home. And he sent that letter, and that letter arrived 2 weeks after his death. Those kinds of stories unfolded over and over and over again. It wasn't always death, but it was always about abuse and about criminalizing children and about not showing them a better way. It was absolutely the worst thing that you can do to a kid is to take away their hope or their promise. And so I'm thankful that we were able to tell those stories and that those parents and grandparents were willing to share their stories with us. The other thing I want to do is to thank Carol. Carol is a journalistic force and a fighter, and if you know anything about Florida, you know that children are safer because of her. I left the paper months before this was published, but I never in a million years doubted that this project would get done and that she would deliver it and that we would get results, and we did. And so I thank her also because she made this happen. Thank you.